Hi guys, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I'm doing another collection video. I cannot tell you which one it is, but the title and the thumbnail should have told you which one it is, and I hope that you're here for it. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work as a field business leader for Ulta Beauty, so I get a lot of education in my position, like to bring you that education. But ultimately, I'm just out here talking about makeup because I like to talk about makeup, and I'm sure that you do too, or you wouldn't be here. I'm hoping at the end of the day we can be friends and you'll want to subscribe before you go. But for now, you're here because you're nosy, aren't we all? You want to see what's in my collection, as do I. So let's roll into this collection video and I will see you at the end. All right, friends, these are all my blushes. I have a lot. These are all cream, these are all new, and these are all my powders. If I have counted right, I have 89 blushes. Is this too many? Absolutely, this is too many. Do I love blush? I absolutely do. So we're gonna move the powder ones over. I am not going to swatch each one of these. I think that we ran into a problem with, I mean, that's my intention anyways. I'm not going to swatch every one of these. That's my intention. You know, I swatched every single one of the ones, the highlighters. So there we go. We're going to start with the new ones just like we did the last round, or the round of highlights, because these won't be going anywhere. These are new. This is the Pillow Talk Matte Blush Wand in the shade Pillow Talk Dreamy Pop. This is like a really red, I am assuming a really red. I did swatch it. I really do like it. And I don't really have a like red toned blush in my collection. This is the Natasha Denona My Mini Dream Glow Blush. This is so cute and so pretty. And I imagine I'm going to get a lot of use out of this because I can like swatch it over here and just have blush, or swatch it over here and just have highlighter, or swatch it all together and have a glowy blush. So, and I love that it is so small and takes up like literally no space. This is the KVD Good Apple Blush Balm Duo. This is a Nymphs Grove, so it has Mythic Apple and Cryptic Apple in it. It is a purple and red. Obviously, I had a red issue going on when I was buying all these blushes, but this is more of like a pretty lilac color, and this is more of like a blood red. So I do think it also has as a space, and this will go into my creams just like the blush wand will. This also will go into my creams. This is a Cloud Paint by Glossier. This is in the shade Puff, a really pretty like just peachy nude. I did get this in a set over the holiday season that came with this one and another one called Rise. I did put Rise in my blushes, or in my bronzers, because it does look dark enough that it could be a bronzer. So I will put that into my creams as well. Listen, this is the Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic Blush in Intense, and this has been on my list for like ever. I did pick this up when Charlotte Tilbury came into our stores, and I'm so excited to have it in my collection and get some use out of it. This is by Rose Inc. This is one of their lip and cheek colors in Heliotrope. This looks like a powder, but I know that it's kind of a creamy blush. So I'm really excited to try some Rose Inc. I do have this, the bronzer, and a lip color that I got in a set around the holiday season from Sephora. Really excited to try that out. This was an impulse purchase. It was in the impulse fixtures in my stores, and I picked it up, and the GM was like, have you ever tried that? That's like one of those pH balancing blushes. So I haven't tried it, but I mean, it is intriguing and I do plan on trying it. So this is the Youthforia BYO Blush Oil in Chemical Reaction. It's a pH balancing blush. I do have this from Rare Beauty. This is the Soft Pinch Dewy Liquid Blush in the shade Encourage. It's just such a beautiful, like deeper, like mauve toned blush. And then I also got this one in a little tiny, like mini that you could purchase around the holiday season. And this one is in the shade Hope, and it is like a neutral pink. This I got in gratis. This is by It Cosmetics. This is the Bye Bye Pores blush in the shade Adored. It's a soft cool pink. It's that color there. And, you know, I got it in gratis. So I am always grateful for the items that I get in gratis. I'm not a big fan of It Cosmetics, but I mean, I do love this color. The shade is really beautiful. So we will try it out. And then I did pick up these two from Polite Society. These are the Polite Society Polite Pops in the shades Los Angeles and Sydney. These are like a really corally blush tone that looks actually very similar to that. And then this one is in that like almost lilac-y cool tone pink. And these look like little tiny deodorant sticks, which is super fun and really pretty, but super excited to try these guys. And these ones I did pick out myself. These were not gratis. Most of these were not gratis. We're going to put all of these back in here for now because they will go into the bins at the end of this video. But for now, they need to stay in here because they are new and they will be staying. Then we'll go to creams. Okay, so these I'm going to keep, and I'll tell you why. Not because I enjoy them as a blush. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll take them out of my blush drawer. I love these as a hairline stain to stain my hair in between colors because these work so well and they wash right out, right? Because they're makeup. I like it better than a powder because powders will get all over your hands. But these are the Go-Go Tint, which is a little bit more of like a red tone. And these are going to stain. So I should probably not have like went straight in for these, but whatever. And this is the Benetint, which is more of a like pink. I know that they look very similar, but I honestly think that this one is maybe not one that I should keep, but that one definitely I should keep as a stain for my hair. And I'll tell you why. They're pretty perfect. This one is definitely more like sheer than this one. This one definitely has a little bit of a creamier feel to it, but I will keep these around for my hair stains. And I might then take them out of my blush collection and keep them just in a separate spot for hair stains with my hair products. This is the Patrick Ta Cream and Powder Blush in Oh She's Different. So it's in my cream section because it has this cream blush. I love this cream blush. It is so pretty. And I already told you guys I wasn't going to swatch them all, so I'm not going to. But like that with this guy over the top of it, just look at how beautiful that is. So I will hold on to that because I love it. This one is by Illamasqua, and this is the Illamasqua color Veil in the shade Enamor, and it is literally orange. It is literally orange. Let me shake that up a little bit. I don't love that it's in this little pot. I wish it was in like a squeezy tube or something because it's just easier to use these kind of products when they're in a squeezy tube. This is honestly really beautiful, but I don't use it hardly ever because it is so pigmented and so orange, but it is such a different color in my collection of blushes that I can't not keep it in my collection. But at the same time, like, I have a powder blush that's really orange too, so do I need to keep this? We're going to be on the fence with that one. We're going to pause on that one. We're going to put it to the side and call it maybe. This is the Blush Light Wand in the shade Pinkgasm, and currently I have this in my project pan because I do not love this blush, but I also know that it is pretty and I like it enough that I want to get some use out of it. With that said, like, I do think it has opportunity to be different. Like, it's too much of a highlight in my humble opinion. Like, a glowy blush is one thing, but a highlight that is actually blushy is a total nother. So it looks perfectly fine head on, but then when you move it, it just kind of disappears and then reappears and looks very strange. So I do have this in my project pan right now. The idea is to get this out of my collection by the end of the year. So it will be sticking around for that reason alone. This one is the Tarte Maneater Blush and Glow. And I do have mine in the shade Pink. And listen, I love this so dang much. It is super, super pretty when blended out. It's just so beautiful. And it's got a little bit of that glowiness without being a highlight and then a blush. It's glowy, but not highlighty. I have this one from Danessa Myricks. This is the Vision Flush in ballet slippers, and I think I've used it maybe twice, but it is so pretty. And I love the component because the component like truly seals. Like, when you break it open again, it feels like it's the first time that you've done it. So I feel like it's going to last forever. But that is just such a pretty like corally color. This one is by Live Tinted, and this one is in the shade True. I haven't even used this. I have swatched it. I do know that, but I haven't even used it. This is pretty and milky and just kind of a different like brownie tone of blush. And it is one of those sticks that you can use on your lips, on your cheeks. It's kind of a multi-stick. So I really do appreciate that as like a monotone color for the lips. This one is the Makeup by Mario stick in the shade Plumberry. And this is so deep. This is so, so deep, but I really truly do love it as a blush, like blended out, just a really pretty like flush to the cheeks. Really beautiful. Looks scary when you first put it on. And then this one is a liquid blush by Surratt, and it is in the shade Classy. I don't love the component of this guy, if I'm honest. And this is relatively like sheer. So, I mean, I want to hold on to it, but at the same time, like, it's just a little more sheer than I like my blushes to be. So I do think that I'm going to get rid of that one. This is by Ritual de Fille. This is in the shade Desire, and this is a blush that's been in my collection for a while. I did have a second blush by them. I ended up getting rid of it because it smelled like crayons. This one is so pretty. It reminds me a lot of the color of the Live Tinted, only maybe a little bit more mauvey. It's so pretty, and I will hold on to it, but these do go bad relatively quickly. Now, this one has been in my collection for, you know, kind of a couple years, but and it smells fine. I don't see any kind of compromises to my skin when I'm using it. The first one was in my collection for less than a year, and I ended up decluttering it because it didn't smell great. This is the Rare Beauty Melting Blush in the shade Nearly Mauve. I will tell you, I have went around and around with this blush. I'm not 100% sure that I love it, if I'm honest. It's just not my favorite formula. It kind of feels silky, which is nice, but it also doesn't stay. I feel like this one doesn't stay on my skin very much, and I have tried it a couple times recently, and it still just doesn't stay on my skin. So I do think I'm going to also declutter that blush. Then we have these two from Fenty. I have Fenty Glow and Rose Latte, and much like the Rare Beauty one, like, they're just, one of them is a little bit more like orangey with a lot of like glitter in it, and that is the Fenty Glow. I don't love glitter, so I am gonna get rid of that one, but I am gonna keep the Rose Latte one. Listen, the more blushes I get rid of, the more blushes I can bring into my collection this year. I'm just kidding. I mean, but truly that's the rule. Like, I'm only allowed to bring in a certain amount of blushes before I have to start getting rid of blushes. So there's that. I love these. These are their MAC Glow Play blushes, right? Yeah, Glow Play. And I have this one in Blush Please and this one in Heat Index. These literally stay, they're like putty, and they literally stay on your skin forever. And I love that about them because I know I can put them on and I do not have to worry about them at all. So we have this one, which is Blush Please, a really beautiful, like neutrally shade, just really natural. And then we have Heat Index, which is like a super pop of color. Those are probably some of my favorite like cream formulas for blush. Then I have this one by Danessa Myricks, also a favorite formula for me. This is the Yummy Skin blush in Golden Hour, and it's just, look at how crazy orange that is. It is amazing, and it's a good like conversation blush, right? Because you wear this kind of blush with like a summer look, and it's just so pretty. I have this one from Beauty Counter. This is a relatively new brand to our stores. This one is their Cheeky Clean Cream Blush, and this is in the shade Chai. I do believe it doesn't say so on here, but I do know that this is in the shade Chai. Why doesn't it say what shade it is on here? It's so strange. This is in the shade Chai, and it has like this really like natural, like almost peachy tone to it. So good. Love that. This one, this Tower 28 one, has literally been in my collection forever. This is their Beach Please blush in the shade Power Hour. This one is so dark. It smells fine, which is wild to me. When buffed out, this is actually a really pretty, like, could be kind of like that blush bronzer-ish tone on my skin. I really like it. I really will hold on to it. And then we have all these from LYS. I have this one, which is the LYS Higher Standard Blush in Unforgettable, a really pretty peachy tone. I'm running out of fingers. So we have this one. And then we have this one, which is honestly my favorite. This one is in the shade Grateful, and it is kind of like a mauve tone. And then we have this one, which is in Empower, which is definitely like a deep berry tone. And these are all beautiful, last forever, like really great price point on these blushes as well, because they're like a less expensive Sephora brand. This one is in the shade Kindness, which was my first LYS blush, and this is definitely a peach. Okay, moving into powders. I have to be honest, I'm just not sure how many of these are gonna go. This one is actually a duo. It's rather new-ish to my collection. This is the Juvia's Place Blushed Rouge Volume 1. And these are like so pretty, like kind of like a muted like milky berry and a muted milky tangerine. Really beautiful blushes. This one is the Jouer Coquette Blush Duo in Seduce Me and Tease Me. And this is what this one looks like. Really beautiful, like almost that cool tone pink that everybody went gaga for last year. And this one is definitely more of a like nude everyday pink, and I love them both so much. This one by Marc Jacobs is his Night Fever and Hot Stuff Air Blush, and listen, I love this blush so much. It's like, you know, really pink or really maroonish, but love it. This one by Cover Effects is in the shade Warm Honey. This is like a really truly beautiful peachy blush that has also the like shimmery aspect to it, so you can like top it with its own shimmer. I love having these in my collection. This one is in the shade Mojave Mauve, and this one is a little just a pink version of that one. And I mean, I truly use them and love them, as you guys can see. This one came from my highlighter collection, and I did pull it over here because it is more of blushy tones, and I would wear it as a blush, not as a highlight. So this one actually came from my highlight collection. You guys saw it once already, but now it is in my blushes. I have no intention of getting rid of it. I haven't used it yet, but I do know that I will see more use out of it over here in the blushes. This one is actually a bronzer by Clinique. This is the Powder Pop Flower Bronzer. And I put it into my bronzer or into my blush collection because I didn't really love it as a bronzer. But I have to be honest, I don't really love it as a blush either. So I am going to declutter that guy. This is the Digital Dust Duo Blush in Raw Honey that came out with the like bee collection that it was doing. And I have used this a lot. I don't really love it, to be honest. So I do think it is time for this one to probably go. Definitely functions more as a highlight. It doesn't look blushy in my humble opinion, and I know I'll probably get some flack for that, but I know that those ones are blushy, but those ones have a decent amount of pigment to them. These ones just don't, and they look more like a highlight to me than they do anything else, and they're too deep for me for a highlight. So, and I know I'm not wearing them as a blush. So I'm just going to get rid of them. I do have these other two by Melt. This one is in Fire Fury. It's one of their blush lights. It is a little bit more of a gleamy blush, like sparkly, not like glittery, not like highlighty, but like gleamy. That's all I can say, blush. But I do love, it's got a nice amount of pigment to it, and it's more of a blush than it is a highlight for sure. And then there's this one, which is in Honey Thief, and I actually love this blush. It is the perfect tone for my face, to give my face this like really natural like flush to the cheeks without like overpowering my cheeks. Like if I want a no makeup look, this would be the blush that I would use. I have these two from Laura Geller. This one is in Tropic Hues, really beautiful like marbled blush. So pretty. It kind of has this like orangey redness to it that looks really beautiful on the cheeks, like you've spent a lot of time in a tropical location. And this one is her Big Blush in Brighton and Cherry Truffle. Really deep, but so glowy without being sparkly. I think that's the word I was looking for with this one. Glowy without giving sparkle. This one, you know, I could probably get rid of this. I have pink blushes that I prefer more than this. This just doesn't have a whole lot of pigment to it, so I am going to declutter that. And then I have all of these from Bare Minerals, one category of Bare Minerals to another. I have these three bronzers. All three of these are staying. I have the Kiss of Mauve, Kiss of Copper, and Kiss of Rose, and they're beautiful. So, I mean, I don't use them ever as a bronzer, but they're beautiful, deep, like super pigmented, glowy blushes that are a blush with a little bit of glow. And then I have these two. This is Bare Minerals Gen Nude Powder Blush. This is in the shade On the Mauve, or On the Mauve, however you want to say it. It reminds me a lot of this in a way, but maybe just a little bit more pink. It's definitely more pink than the Laura Geller one. All right, I'll keep both. So I will keep that one. And then this one is the Bounce and Blur in Mauve Sunrise. Like I really love a mauve, apparently. This one is a little bit more of a creamy without being cream, but I do think I need to put it into my creams because it's a little bit more creamy. I think I just put that right over the top of something else, so let's swatch that again. I think I'm going to put this into my creams, but I am going to hold on to it. This one is also Call My Blush. This is by Bare Minerals as well. I think I did get this in like an Ipsy. It's so powdery, but also, I mean, just really a natural shade of pinkiness. It's just so pretty. So I will be holding on to that. This is Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush in the shade Seychelles. Between this one and the one that I was talking about called Honey Thief from Melt, I do think these are very, very similar. But I also think this one has a little bit more of like a browniness to it than this one, but both of them could go hand in hand in like a no makeup look on my face, dependent on time of year. Like I would probably use this one more as a no makeup in the like summertime, and use this one as a no makeup sometime in the winter because it's a little less brown. And then I have this one by KVD. This is one of the Everlasting blushes in the shade Rosebud. This was on my list forever. It's kind of like a little bit lilac-y, a little bit berry. It's just such a really, really beautiful blush tone that I can't not have it in my collection. It's so, so pigmented. This is disgusting. Let's wipe this out. So much blush everywhere. I think we did good on this section. And then we have this one. Start with this. This is the House Labs Color Fusion Blush in the shade Watermelon. There was a point last year where everybody, including myself, was going through this crazy, like, let's buy all the fluorescent blushes that we can. This is a really beautiful blush. It's kind of hard to work with, but once I get it on my cheeks and blended out, it's just so, so pretty. And I mean, I don't think my blush collection would be complete without it. This one is a Pat McGrath blush in the shade Flirtatious. This has become my favorite blush, hands down, in my collection, so it will not be going anywhere. It's just so natural and beautiful on my skin. This one is an ambient strobe lighting blush in the shade Incandescent Electra by Hourglass. It's a really pretty blush, really like soft, really sheer wash of color and beautiful. I won't be getting rid of that. I also won't be getting rid of either one of these. This one is Laura Mercier Blush Color Infusion in the shade Grapefruit. Again, kind of that crazy tone of blush. It is quite, I mean, it looks similar, but it is quite a bit different than this one. As you can see, one is a little bit more red, one is a little bit more orange. I do like having both in my collection, so I will continue to keep both. And this one is in the shade Fresco. Now, I don't love blushes with little bits of glitter in it. This one does have little bits of glitter in it, but it is just like you cannot tell that it's got little bits of glitter in it. And it's just such a really beautiful natural color. And I like really bright, really fun, really deep dark ones, or really peachy ones, or really natural blushes. So I will continue to hold on to that. These are by NARS. I do have Deep Throat and Orgasm. So this one is Deep Throat. It's very, very pink. And then this one is Orgasm, which is a little bit more like glowy, right? Without having bits of sparkle in it. Now, I don't 100% love Orgasm. Like, I know, am I the only one on the planet that doesn't love Orgasm? You can't really see that. So let's do it here. This is also a really old blush to my collection, and I think I'm going to hold on to it and see if I can put it into a Shop My Stash and get some use out of it. I just don't know. Is that like a blush? Is that like a bronzer? I mean, is that like a highlight? Like, I just don't know how to use that and make it look good on my skin. I'm going to put it in the maybe. Then I have these two by Dior. I have the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow in not only pink, but also berry. Berry is the newest one to my collection. This is pink. I have gotten a ton of use out of this product. It will stay. It's one of my favorites. This one is Berry. This one is new. I haven't even swatched it. I do imagine it's going to be just as beautiful on my skin as the pink one, but I haven't used it. This is another one of those like no makeup look blushes. This is MAC Mineralized Blush in Warm Soul. This blush is so pretty. I did not, when I first got it, I didn't think it was going to be as beautiful as it is, but I can't get rid of it now. This one is the Ciate Marbled Light blush in the shade Burnt, and I did get this in an Ipsy, and I was super excited to actually get this because I had it from my like sample size Ipsy bag in a little tiny guy, and I loved it. I actually used that blush entirely up. So the fact that I got a larger version of it in an Ipsy, I was super excited about. I will be holding on to that. This is a really beautiful blush by Wet n Wild. This is one of their color icon blushes in Mellow Wine. And it's just a little bit of a like brownie toned mauve. It's really, really pretty. It's also one of the products that my friend JC bought me when we did the Subscriber Buys My Makeup video. Really beautiful blush. I have these two by Becca. One is in Flower Child and one is in Songbird. Flower Child looks like this, and then Songbird is a little bit more on the orange spectrum. Listen, these are so very pigmented, but so very beautiful. I just love Becca products. I wish they had stayed in business because their cheek products are phenomenal. They don't exacerbate texture. They're really, really pretty beautiful. So I will be holding on to those. This one by Too Faced is their Cloud Crush blush. This is a blurring blush and it is in the shade Watermelon Rain. And it is like a fuchsia pink and it is so pretty. Now, do I think that these actually blur your skin underneath? I'm just not so sure, but I do love that blush, so it will be staying. I do have two Clinique Cheek Pop blushes, one in Fig Pop and one in Heather Pop. These were, for the longest time, the only blushes that I wanted to use on the planet. I think that you can see that with the Fig Pop one. And I have used the poop out of these, and I will continue using the poop out of these. I think that these blushes will probably last for the next 100 years because I've used so much of them, but they obviously are clearly going strong. This is my Heart blush in the shade Party. And you know, I just think like I like it, but I just think that it might be time to retire this blush. It's old. It was a Sephora birthday gift at one point in time, and I have the same colors in other blushes that I would prefer to wear. It's again one of those your skin but better kind of blush tones, right? No makeup blushes, and I just think that I have other blushes this color that I would prefer to wear. So we are going to declutter that, and we are going to wash this out as well. And then the last but not least of my blushes, you know, we're not doing really good. Let's just start there. We're not doing super good. But we're going to start with this one. This one is the Onzai Soul Man Sunlight Love Blusher in Rosette Loved. This is in my deck of panning right now, and I really thought that I was going to love this blush a lot more than I do. Again, it's more of a highlight than it is a glowy blush. It's just not pigmented enough for me. If it's going to be this glowy, it also needs to be super pigmented. This will, as much as it pains me to say, likely leave my collection, but for now, it is staying because it is part of my deck of panning. I then have all of these from Benefit. So I have this one, which is the Mini Sugar Bomb. Of course, you guys can see I love this. I love that you can mix them all together and get just a very different blush than what it is singly. I don't think that this little tiny mini is conducive to dipping your brush into individual colors. So this for me does have to be worn as a mix of colors, and I like it quite a bit. Krista is beautiful, and these are blushes that are really super pigmented, and even the glowy ones are really super pigmented, but also leave you with pigment behind. Like there isn't, it's not like a straight up highlighter on your skin with no pigmentation. Shelly is a really beautiful like peachy tone, a little bit more subdued than Krista for sure. Butterfly, oh my gosh, this is quite possibly my favorite, and it is straight up orange. Willa is a beautiful like mauve tone. I did PS purchase all of these except for two that I got in gratis. This one was one of them that I got in gratis. This one is in the shade Terra. And this one is just a little bit deeper, but glowy. I think these two down here are more glowy than the other ones. They just still have quite a bit of pigment to them. Moon is also one that I received in gratis. And this one is probably, you know, honestly too deep for me. A little dabble do you kind of mindset when going into this one, but I have worn it quite a bit. You can see by the, you know, the movement at the top. I do think that this one can be sheared out quite nicely and make just a really beautiful, like glowy, bricky blush. There are all those. I will be keeping all of my Benefit blushes. I know that sounds ridiculous because there's like 7 of them there, but I do like every single one of them. And then I have this one by Essence. This is the Pure Nude Baked Blush. I did get this in gratis last year. It is just a really pretty pink blush that goes on really, really nicely to the skin. I don't think it exacerbates texture. It isn't as like pigmented as I would love it to be on first application, but it is quite buildable. So we will keep that. And it is Essence, right? So it's like $3 for that blush. So you can't fault it for being what it is. This one is the Ofra Madison Miller blush in All I Need Is Love. And this one is just a really beautiful, like milky peach, and I love it, so it will stay. This one by Ofra is in Bellini, is really super pretty, and then really neutral. And then I have these by ABH. This one is the blush trio in Pink Passion. It's got all the crazy tones of pink in it that you could truly ever need. I probably have that 100 times over in my collection. And then this one is called Cocktail Party, and it's got that like bright pink, a bright like tangerine or like watermelon color, and then kind of this is kind of like a red toned brown. Really pretty. I like taking these on the road with me because they're really great, like just truly really great trios of blush that work really good. I love mixing them as well. I have these two by Patrick Ta, and they are She's Seductive and She's Adored, and they're just his monochrome moment blushes. So this one is the She's Adored, really beautiful, like your skin but better peachy tone. And then this one is the She's Seductive, and it is a really beautiful like brown toned mauve. Really beautiful. Love these both. These are kind of like really powdery though, so I don't use them a whole lot. Then I have these two by Give Beauty. I have her Feeling Cheeky blush in both Stars Aligned and Flirty Talk. So this one is more of like that orange and like yellow toned orange. And then this one is in Stars Aligned, which is the mauve tones. So like a pinky mauve and like a deeper mauve. With that said, I am going to also add these two blushes, the one from Illamasqua and the one from NARS. So NARS Orgasm and Illamasqua Color Veil Gel Blusher in Enamor into my Declutter pile, because I was holding on to this because I had what I thought a very limited number of orange blushes, and I prefer a powder orange blush to this guy, so this will go. And then this one, NARS Orgasm, like I don't love that it is so highlighty that it doesn't look like a blush. So, and I won't use it as a highlight. So we will get rid of that as well. We are left with these for blushes. Whoops. Let's put all of these guys where they go. Most of them are creams. I'm going to declutter this because I'm not a big fan of it cosmetics, and because I think we established that this blush and this blush are very similar in tone. So I'm going to get rid of that. All right. These are the ones I'm keeping. I have 79 blushes in here. I cannot remember how many we started with. Again, I will put the number at the top. But even the new blushes are also in here. So we're going to move these over. This is what we're getting rid of in the blush collection. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 that we are getting rid of in the blush collection, which I'm actually pretty proud of. I never thought I'd get rid of this. Like, this was such a cherished blush for me for a very long time. This was my first blush from a company that wanted me to like ambassador for them, but like I don't know much about Mellow Cosmetics either anymore. This blush, really great blush. I just know that I have more in my collection that I would use before it now. This came from whatever. And these are going into my hair drawer because I will use them as hair stains. This is something that I'm really excited to put into a bag of stuff that I have getting ready for a giveaway that I'm doing. And yeah, I'm super excited to have 12 blushes coming out of my collection. So once I have surpassed 5 blushes purchased for this year, I have a 1 in, 1 out thought process. This gives me 12 points that I can add into my blush category without going over for the year. So I'm actually really excited about what this looks like now. And I'm really excited that it all fits back in here pretty seamlessly, to be honest. So I am going to put you guys into outro, and we will see you in the next one. Adding these because I can't remember if I went through these in the face palette collection, but this is my blush singles. I have 2 from Sydney Grace here. I have Peaches and Cream and Princess, and they are just really beautiful, like neutral and pinky tone blushes. Really great for like, again, it's that blush that like is my go-to shade for no makeup, and then this pinky tone is my go-to like mauve shade. And then I also have 2 from Ofra. I have Winter Rose and Pink Satin. This is the second Winter Rose shade that I have had in my collection. Not that I went through 2 whole Winter Rose blushes, because I definitely didn't. They were both sent to me in Ipsy, so, and I love them so much. This Pink Satin looks like that, and then Winter Rose looks like that. Those 2 look very, very similar. I think on the cheeks, they really wouldn't look all that different. This one does appear a little bit more pigmented, but I mean, I am going to keep them both because I think that this one is in my planned pan for this year. Although I just don't, I mean, it's got quite a dip in it. I just don't know. I'm going to get rid of this. Like, I'm going to get rid of it. It is, when you look at these 2 on the face and they're in the same palette, like they literally could be the same blush, just one's packed on more than the other, whatever. I'm going to get rid of this one. So we're going to add this to the blush collection video, and I am keeping 3 of the singles and getting rid of the Ofra Winter Rose. So this is 1 more blush that we are getting rid of. So I think in total we will have 13 blushes that we got rid of after getting rid of this one. So that is the end. How did I do? I'm doing this outro and the intro, aforementioned intro at the beginning, without even knowing what section that you got to see just now. So I did already film an inventory video that is just about the numbers in the spreadsheets and how I log everything. I will have that available to you in the cards, as well as my year of empties video, which talked about all the empties that I had last year. So you also get to see what exited my inventory. How do you think I did? What do you think about my collection so far? I would be interested to hear from you down in the comment section. With that said, if you like collection videos, I'm doing a whole bunch more of them, I do think. If you're interested, don't forget to subscribe before you go, because there's a lot more content coming. And also, like, I've been on YouTube for a while. There's plenty of videos out there. I'm sure that you can find something that you enjoy. Maybe something that you can go back to from way back when, in the Wayback Machine when I started, and you can make fun of me for, because everybody was a little cringeworthy back then. Either way, I just hope that you loved it. I hope that you want to subscribe before you go. I hope that we can be friends at the end of the day. And yeah, I'm super thankful that you were here today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you are all safe and healthy and getting along as best you can. I hope that you are all loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye, friends.